Hey guys, so I finally finished the 4 creative winter looks that I said I was going to do. Starting with Jak Frost, I did night, ice, and in this video I'm covering death. So the idea behind this look is death at winter time. So I'm combining the classic skull kind of face and I'm doing it with like a tree, bark, dead leaves and like bird skulls and things. So I hope you like that. After this video's gone up, I'm going to be taking the creative endings of each video that I did for these winter looks and putting them into one video just so we can see those nice ending little bits that I did. As well, in the future I'm going to be doing some more makeup looks. I'm going to be doing some characters and I'm going to be doing some like going out looks and things. So if there's anything you'd like to see, leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can find me on places like Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. They're all //YourJak, Jak spelled without a C. And as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, or if you really liked it, it'd be great if you shared it, and then I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Now this look is based on a tree. It's the combination of the textures of a tree and the idea of a skull makeup to come up with this winter death feeling. So to start with, what I'm doing is taking a black eyeliner pencil and I'm marking out those typical skull shapes. So the hollows of the eyes and the hollow on the nose area. You can see on this one eye as well, I'm just drawing up a large crack that you might get in a tree or a skull across the eye. I'm going to come back and work on that later. I'm actually starting by just going back over the face with a moisturiser because I'm going to be using a lot of powders on the face and I need them to have something to stick to. Using a white powder, I'm going around the eye hollows that I've just drawn out just to add highlights in that are really going to make those stand out. I'm going across the brow area as well and starting to work across the face where any areas are higher, that's where the highlights are going to sit. It's just going to help to create a more three-dimensional look. I'm working on the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, across the cheekbones and on the lower jaw as well. With the highlights down, I'm going to start working on the contoured areas. So all the areas that I've left blank, I'm going down with a dark brown eyeshadow and I'm going into those areas and filling them out and blending them into the highlights just using my fingers. Now I've already got brown skin, so if you have pale skin, you might want to use a brown base first of all, or just work over all these areas with a darker colour. I'm going to be sticking a bird skull to my face, so I'm just working out where that's going to be, and then using a medium blending brush, I'm just adding in some yellow highlights to those areas. The idea is to create a swatch of brown and yellows and reds to really emphasise that tree effect rather than your typical skull colours. I'm going to start blending in the pale highlighted areas of this look, so I'm using a very light yellow colour and I'm blending out the white into the dark areas with a small blending brush. I don't want the hairline to be as it is, so I'm taking a flat blending brush and I'm taking a black Illamasqua eyeshadow and taking long strokes and just drawing it straight across from the hairline into my face. I really like the effect this gives. Typically a skull eye hollow is just black, but for this look it's based on tree hollows that I've just been looking up pictures on the internet. So I'm starting by lining the eye, lining the waterline and going back around all the eyelashes, and then taking a red eyeliner pencil, I'm going on the inside of the eyelid and across the beginning of the brow, and then I'm using a light brown colour just to go around the outside. I just want to create some tree bark-like textures here. I'm going back over the top of them with eyeshadows and adding in some different defects of things that I saw from reference to the pictures that I've been looking at. Going back over the eyelid, and then I'm starting to add some shadow into the hollows as well, just using a very fine liner pencil. I'm going around the edge of the hollow that I created to really emphasize those cracks. I'm adding in some shadow as well with a very small blending brush, and then across the outside of the eye I'm adding in some more cracked details that are just going to add some character to the look. I'm also going to be using this fine liner brush to add a crack that goes across the top of the brow area where that highlight is. This is just going to help emphasize that, and it's going to give the idea of an eyebrow even though one hasn't been drawn into the look. On the reference pictures that I was using as well, there were lots of these bark-like wrinkles, so I'm using the fine liner brush and I'm going over the eyelid and I'm just drawing lines in various directions going across the eyelid. I want to add some shadow onto the lower part of the cheek, so underneath the cheekbone I'm using a black eyeshadow and I'm just drawing in this very heavy shadow. Because I don't want it actually to be black, once that's down I'm going back over the top with a dark red and blending it in long straight strokes downwards. Once that's done, just to really emphasize the highlight above, I'm going back over the top of it and adding in the yellow shimmer that I've been using across the rest of the face. And again, I don't want the highlights to actually be white on the face, so once I've worked out where they're going to be and I've added in the shadows, I'm going back over the top of them with a light yellow, shimmery brown colour. Working over the same eye, I'm doing the same as I did to the other one, but this time I'm really accentuating that crack that I drew in earlier. To make the brow really heavy and skull-like, I'm using a very fine blending brush, and I'm going in with a dark brown just to help emphasise the highlights. It's all about just working back over those areas, drawing in the darker areas and then just going back over the highlights just to make sure they're really popping out. Blending all the different colours together. I'm using a lot of mixtures of browns and yellows and whites and dark reds to get this look. With the nose, I'm using a fine liner again, just to really accentuate those cracks that are coming up the nose, and I want it to be as dark as possible, so you might want to use a couple of layers of black on this. I wanted the edges of the face to really draw in that thought of winter death, so I've stuck on some leaves using liquid latex. I washed them first with alcohol wipes and then cut them down to the shape that I wanted. I didn't like the edges, so I'm going back over them just with the black paint to blend it in with the hairline. I've also stuck on the bird's skull that I had earlier with some liquid latex. The lips are going to be like skull lips, but again taking reference from trees, so I'm just bringing them up into the face in a crack-like motion, and then in between the black lines that I've done, I'm going to use a white eyeliner pencil just to add some highlights into there to make them stick out. Then I found this little branch that I quite liked, so I've stuck that on the side of the face with liquid latex, just waiting for it to dry.